everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This will be a review on the Hot Toys 1/4 scale Dark Knight Rises version of Batman. It's an amazing piece, and I've never actually reviewed it on this channel. There are some videos on the channel. You've got 2 showcase videos, maybe 3, because there's a lot to show with this guy. Lots of different poses options, display options, and I've done about 2 or 3 showcase videos, a true light review, and a comparison. I think I don't know. I did a comparison between the Enterbay Batman and the NECA Batman up there. They were very interesting to compare to one another, but no other company as yet has produced a 1/4 scale Dark Knight suit Batman. So this is the only one we have at the moment. I do think NECA will do one of these in 1/4 scale at some point. I'd be very interested to see how that turns out. But because of the complexity of the suit Hot Toys made on this guy, just the film accuracy, this is one of those perfect figures as far as I'm concerned. I did have the DX12, and one of the things that always bugged me about the original DX12 before you were able to get the armory version and put that much better head sculpt on that Batman, just the raw DX12 always bugged me. The face plates weren't too great, and the I'll have to change up this lighting here so you guys can see this better. But yeah, but on the DX12, this part of the armor here was always kind of buried underneath this here, and on the 1/6 version these 2 bits weren't separate like they should be. In the movie, these 2 bits, just like this, they separate. So the 1/4 scale figure does that. The other thing I want to mention is, because this is a bit of an old figure now, it's been out for a few years, I'm not going to do the big half-hour long review thing. I want to try and plow through this as quickly as possible and just give you like a nice condensed review. Try and keep it to 15 minutes max, show you some poses, and just basically tell you how I feel about it. So yeah, we'll get started. I'll show you all these accessories and explain why I'm not using this base. So let's get into it. Alright, so we'll get the things that I don't like so much out of the way. The base is nice. They have, I think, reused this maybe for an Iron Man figure or someone recently. I think it was actually a 1/6 scale figure that they used a similar design for recently, and they did reuse this little bit here very recently with the new Iron Man 1/6 scale diecast. I believe it was the Mark 40. Oh god, I don't even know. I'm so confused when it comes to the Iron Man marks now, to be honest. I think it was like Mark 46 or Mark 47 or something. But yeah, Hot Toys have been reusing parts and reusing bases totally in recent years. They used the original Predator jungle base for one of the Star Wars Rogue One figures recently. But yeah, the base, I don't use it because I did use it for the longest time, and I got fed up trying to get Batman to look natural, because as you can see, there's all these rocks sticking up. So his right leg always has to be in a position like he's standing on the rocks, and you can get it to look natural, but it's a hell of a pain in the ass when you just want to have some fun posing him and find your final display pose for him. But he just won't, it just doesn't look very natural to me, and I just wanted him standing there, legs straight, just nice and powerful museum pose. You don't really need to have anything more going on with something this impressive. You just want to appreciate the detail of the suit. So that's my only real complaint, is the base. It is nice. It's not really a complaint. It's just a bit frustrating trying to get him to look natural standing on those rocks there. You can use this to try and help with that, and you do get your little bit of scaffolding here from always reminds me of the moment where he picks up Harvey Dent's coin after the carnage in the Dark Knight. So you can display this guy and use him or think of him as the Dark Knight version, because he does come with the backpack there, the sticky bomb gun, and many things that he did use in the second film as well as the third. Obviously this was used in the Dark Knight Rises. You've got your Bane mask, a Joker bank robber mask, and a Scarecrow mask from Batman Begins. So the whole trilogy is covered with the accessories, so really well thought out. And I do hope that Hot Toys make a a 1/4 scale version of Batman Begins, even though I've already got two 1/4 scale Batman Begins figures. That's my favourite Batsuit from my favourite Batman film, so I'm always up for more of those. And I would like them to go back and perfect a Batman Begins figure in 1/6 scale, using the kind of rubber that they used, or whatever it is, for the Batman Returns suit there, because you could use that kind of material for the Batman Begins suit, and that suit over there does not attract any dust. It's fantastic. It does hinder articulation, but the previous 1/6 scale Batman Begins figures by Hot Toys were absolute dust magnets. So yeah, I would like to see them improve on that. Alright, here's the sonar head. Batteries are still in there. I need to take these batteries out. I do use the little plastic tag thing that you can put in there to stop the batteries from meeting. But yeah, I need to take these batteries out. Great head sculpt. You can interchange all these mouth plates, and we can easily, very easily, just take that off. It's just held on with a magnet. Pop the sonar head on, and yeah, they are very bright LEDs in that head, and in the dark you sure can see this. I mean, it's some of the brightest LEDs in a figure I've ever seen. So yeah, the sonar head is cool. Very nice accessory. I never really display him with this, though. It's a bit of a shame. Anything to do with LEDs and batteries, I don't really tend to use them much. But yeah, great accessory there. So taking a very quick look at the accessories, we've got the sonar head, and in total we have 1, 2, 3, 4 mouth plates, and they vary. You've got a kind of slightly open mouth with some teeth showing. I guess he's kind of talking in that one. And you've got this very goofy looking, but it works when you've got him in, say, like a pose as if he was raising his arm to block a punch. Slightly turn his ways to get him looking like he's in motion. And that faceplate can work very well for action shots. Then just your regular neutral faceplate there, and here I'm rocking in with the really angry one, which is definitely one of the most impressive because the work on the teeth and the gums. I'll turn the torch on the camera and we'll have a better look at that in a minute. But yeah, the batarangs are metal, as you can hear. That's really cool because you know, it sucks if they were plastic, and a lot of the times they are. The Entebbe Batman batarangs were plastic, and that was a bit of a disappointment. But not the figure was a disappointment. Let me just make that clear. This right here is the Beast. You can't mess with the Beast. Not even this mother flipper right here. You can't even touch this. Look at him. Anyway, the hands. We've got this cool kind of coming at you. Like you could have him again. Ooh, you could have that grabbing someone's fist. Like if they had made a 1/4 scale Bane, that would have been cool for that. You've got a grapnel gun holding hand, or maybe you could get them to hold the little bomb there as well. I guess this would be for holding batarangs. And what's this? I guess this would be for holding either one of the guns, or maybe even a batarang as well. Different stuff. Basically, all the hands hold everything super well. They're just too relaxed style hands. Let's just have a look at the Christian Bale head sculpt, which is really, really nice. And if you want a really good look at this, then I did a True Light review specifically on this head sculpt and the Entebbe 1/4 scale Bruce Wayne head as well. Both of them together in the daylight. You get a much better look than you are right now. But this is fantastic and looks great on the figure. Very nice. And you get the little transition part there to go around his neck. The backpack from the Hong Kong scene in The Dark Knight goes on very easy. And the sticky bomb gun and the EMP, was it? The thing that takes out all the lights and stuff. Fantastic from The Dark Knight Rises. The little bomb, the grapnel gun, the little hooks do come out, and it does cock, I guess you'd say. And you've also got a holder which goes on his belt, plus all of his little accessories that come off really easy. There's the little drill there that he uses in The Dark Knight. that actually comes out. You can see the drill and everything. And they clip on really easy. It's not magnets, they've got those little clips there that you can see. Go on the belt really nice. So I hope I haven't left any accessories out. The trilogy's covered, as I mentioned before, with these masks, and they're really well detailed. Apart from the Scarecrow one, that's the least impressive of the bunch, but the Bane one's very nice, as you can see. And the Joker one from the bank robber scene is also very impressive. So there you go. There's your accessories. Oh, that looks mean as hell. That could be a thumbnail potentially. But here is your close-up of that mouth plate with the teeth, and you've got the top row as well. The stubble's done really well, just the skin texture on all of these mouth plates is fantastic. Obviously it's 1/4 scale, so you have crazy detail. The eyes move, and that is easy enough to do. They do give you a tool, which I don't think I've actually shown here, but they do give you a little tool to move the eye rods. That's what I'm going to call them, the eye rods. And there's also a little cover bit here that I think, just covers this all up, but I just leave it out because I'm always, well, not always, but especially for this review, I'm going to be moving the eyes about a fair bit. It's easy to do. You can get the head tilted down really far as well. The cool thing about this guy, because of the way the suit's been designed, and because it's not rubber, at least for the most part underneath, there's like this kind of mesh, that's quite a thin material, but it is a material, so you can have his arm bent long term. You could leave him like that, and you'd never have to worry about anything being damaged. I've never had any sort of trouble with this guy. I've left him in some pretty dynamic poses in the past. But much like the 1/6 scale version, these bits always kind of stick out when you bend the arm, and it looks kind of silly. It kills the look, and your eye goes to it every time, and it sucks. But it's a small little niggle, a nitpick, if you will. But yeah, it's not too bad. But basically, you can leave him in all kinds of poses, and because of the way this has been designed, just like the real thing, I reckon that's about as high as Christian Bale would really be able to lift his arm there. But you've got great range of motion. And I'm doing this one-handed, and you can already see the kind of fun you could have with this guy. Imagine changing out the hands and getting the eyes looking in the right direction. We'll see what we can do. But look how mean that looks. Look at that figure. It's absolutely awesome. I've switched out the heads. It wasn't too stressful. That was pretty easy to do. Got the backpack on. I've just about got the sticky bomb gun on his belt. There's a little attachment earlier that I showed you guys. Let me just take it off because I got that wrong in a previous video many years ago, and I paid the price in the comment section. But yeah, you get 2 of these, one of which I can find, and the other one I can't find. I'm sure it's in my drawer of goodies. I'll find it. I know where it is. But yeah, that would be on there as well if I could find the other one. And he's just holding the sonar head. You can turn that a little bit away so you can't see the eyes so much, and that would just look like he's holding the cowl. I do believe the exclusive version of this came with a cowl that was empty for a situation just like this. But yeah, just to show you this look, the Hong Kong scene, you could go even further and have him actually holding the sticky bomb gun and put the cowl back on him again. But I just wanted to show you the Bruce Wayne head, and yeah, it's a pretty cool look. I've never actually displayed him like this. I might do that after this review, just for a little while, display him in the Hong Kong scene sort of style. But yeah, it looks really cool. Moving on. Well, before I took off the Bruce Wayne head, I thought I'd try just for a laugh to see if any of these actually do go on him. The Bane one almost did, but I started to worry because this top bit started to really bend, going over his hair sculpt. But I did manage to get the bank robber mask on there. You can see his eyes in there. That's Bruce Wayne with the bank robber mask on. So I'll go ahead and take that off and get one last look at the head sculpt, face on. Really, really impressive. No complaints with it. It is a fantastic representation of Christian Bale. So yeah, well done, Hot Toys. Look at the skin texture, the sculpt on the hair. Let's just show it from a few angles. It looks particularly strong from sort of looking at it from underneath like this. Very impressive. Let's get him back set up as full-on Batman mode. Move the eyes to the side a bit and put in the sort of talking mouth plate. I want to talk a little bit about the cape. So the situation with the cape is quite simple. It's terrible. When I mentioned earlier on in the review that this is one of those perfect figures, it is, as long as you don't factor in the cape that they gave you with this. And it's just for such a outstanding piece and something that clearly they learnt from mistakes with 1/6 scale versions, and they've really done their research. They studied the hell out of this suit, reproduced it perfectly in 1/6 scale. But the cape really did seem like an afterthought. I haven't even got that to hand anymore. It's in the box, and the box is in storage. That's why I haven't shown you the box in the review today. But it should be easy enough to find pictures of that box. It is nice. It serves its purpose. It's nothing too special. But I like it. It's fine. Like I said, it serves its purpose fine. Protects the figure and looks nice. Looks expensive. But yeah, the cape was terrible. So I actually used the Enter Bay Batman cape on him. So the Enter Bay Batman is actually wearing a black velvet cape because that's more movie accurate, just from what Enter Bay gave us. Although the Enter Bay cape is really fantastic. I love the way it feels, the way it falls. The weight of it is perfect. It's just not black enough, and I know that looks it doesn't look the case on camera right now, but the Dark Knight cape and along with the Batman Begins cape is very much a jet black kind of velvet look. And that is not how the Enter Bay one really looks. It's black, but it's kind of like a kind of charcoal kind of black, and the contrast between the suit and the cape should be very obvious. But yeah, the Enter Bay cape is the one I use on this guy, and the stock cape stays in the box. Now, while we're talking about capes, I'm going to show you some of the pictures I've taken of the Dark Spartan custom 1/4 scale wired cape that Dark Spartan sent me a while back to review. There are like a good few videos on that back on the channel if you go back and dig deep. All kinds of mad poses with that. But I'll throw in some of the pictures now so you can just see the Dark Spartan custom 1/4 scale wired cape. So as you can see, the Dark Spartan cape was very cool, and I still have it. I just don't really have the space to use it to its full potential right now, but I will one day when the extension's done and the final display room is complete. Then I will have this guy probably rocking the Dark Spartan wired cape in a nice dynamic pose, because when you get the figures that can do it and you can leave them like that, it's a shame not to. And just my final thoughts on this thing. I probably didn't manage to make this review 15 minutes long. It's probably more like half an hour, just the way these things go. With the showcase video photography spliced in, it's probably going to draw it out a little bit more. But yep, you can see you get some fantastic accessories. Everything works really well. The only letdown is the terrible cape. But, you know, there are ways around that. There are guys out there who can do your custom cape. It's just, yeah, it's really not a good situation. It's basically the way that it connects. It's really frustrating from what I've seen, and the results are never really very good. You can't really seem to get it as flush as you can with something like the Enter Bay Batman cape or a custom velvet cape. But yeah, as you can see, it's incredibly lifelike in photography with backgrounds of Gotham City behind it and stuff. It's just ridiculous. It really does look like the real thing. So, yep, it's one of those perfect figures, even with the cape thing considered. Let's not forget the base. Very nice. Let's get a look at the texture of the brickwork and stuff. Nice nameplate. It's just, as you can imagine, when you're trying to get him to stand in a natural looking pose, you've constantly got to mess with his ankle, the knee, then it turns into an upper body situation, then you're trying to figure out how his arms should sit, and it just turns into a very long-winded situation. Not much fun, but it is a nice base. There's no denying that. It does look cool. I just don't really like it. So, there he is, the 1/4 scale Dark Knight Rises Batman by Hot Toys. I hope you enjoyed the review. There he is. Soak it up. Let me know what you think. Have you got this guy? Are you thinking about getting him? I don't know what the prices are like these days, but I'd imagine this guy goes for quite a bit of money these days. He was expensive when I got him, and you know, I pretty much got him day one. It's one of the few sort of times a 1/4 scale figures come out, and I thought, okay, have to get that quick. I'm curious about the 1/4 scale Darth Vader. I'm very happy with the 1/6 scale Darth Vader from Rogue One, but I have to admit I am tempted to grab the 1/4 scale at some point when it is released, and I had to move the endoskeleton by Hot Toys out of the way to film this, but that is another Hot Toys 1/4 scale figure that I do have. It is that's the only endoskeleton you're ever going to need. It's perfect. It's from the classic Terminator, the first film, as you can see by the nameplate, but it is also perfect for T2 as well. Same design. Stan Winston, I don't think he changed much between Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. There were some very subtle changes, but basically you're looking at the same Terminator from both original, 1 and 2 films. So, still waiting for Harley Quinn to drop from Hot Toys, still waiting for Wonder Woman. Apparently that's been delayed, but I don't think that's really to do with Hong Kong. I think that's more the Sideshow Collectibles end of things. They're saying that they're going to get their stock in July, was it? Which means it should come out in Hong Kong pretty soon. So I'm just waiting for Wonder Woman. I'm still really curious to know how they're going to, how the body's going to turn out with that particular figure, how we're going to be able to move it, if she will be able to do any kind of dynamic poses, or whether it's pretty much going to be a statue. Either way, we'll find out soon enough when she comes out. And Alien Day has been and gone, I believe, and no Ripley figure yet. So I was a little bit disappointed, but I'm sure Ripley will be along when she's along. Looking forward to getting that one. I am rambling, so I'm going to go. I'm just enjoying looking at the Batman figure through the lens here. It's a nice little pose. I might leave him like that for a little while. Alright, take it easy, guys. That's the Beast, the Dark Knight together. Take it easy. See you soon.